Today I'm reviewing and testing yet another Fahren LED headlight upgrade. This is the Fahren Termitor, which I have received countless requests for, and some of you call it the Fahren Terminator. Well, does it terminate the competition? Sorry, kind of a dad joke, but let's find out anyway. Hello everyone, and welcome to Carlight Reviews, where I perform consistent automotive light tests to help you make the best purchase decision, see better, and be seen better when driving, and of course, save you some money. This is the Fahren Termitor, not the Terminator, just to be clear in case you're searching for it. And this is the third Fahren LED headlight upgrade that I've tested, behind the Fahren Krieges and the Fahren Forscher before that, which is my current pick for the best overall budget LED headlight upgrade that I've tested so far. Now's the time to see how well this Fahren Termitor light performs, and we will see how it compares to the other Fahren lights that I've tested. And like my other LED headlight videos, I'm going to do an unboxing, go over the published specs, and then cover some of the features, and then I'll test the brightness and light pattern for both projector and reflector housings to see how it performs. Let's start with the unboxing, and you'll see that it is indeed similar to the other Fahren product unboxing. They're all very similar. They come with this black bag, which inside includes user manual, zip ties, and double-sided tape, and an Allen wrench for adjusting the collar. And you'll see it also has this pretty nice chrome-plated piece of paper here to register your 1-year warranty and the email to do so. Let's go over the published specifications of this. 60 watts each, 11,000 lumens each, color temperature of 6500 K. The chip is unknown, I didn't see it published anywhere. Has an IP rating of 68, an hour rating of 50,000. As you saw, it does have an adjustable collar that wrench is used for. It does have an external fan, and it does have an external driver. Has a warranty of 1 year, and the price at the time of this video, before any discounts, is $69.99 per pair. Now, if you compare these specs to the Forscher and the Krieges, they are a step up from each other as you go up the product line. The Forscher is published at 6,000 lumens, the Krieges at 10,000 lumens, and this Termitor is at 11,000 lumens. Other than that, the Forscher is published at 30 watts each, and the Krieges and Termitor are both rated at 60 watts each. The rest appears to be the same in terms of features and function, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is a tried and true design. Now let's cover my initial observations of this light. As you notice, the packaging, the materials, pretty similar across the board, and the light is also pretty standard when it comes to the previous Fahren lights I've reviewed. It does have, as I mentioned, a standard design and such, but you'll see a couple of nice touches here on this. First of all, what jumps right out at me is this nice anodized blue band. Now again, a lot of things like this aren't really important to the overall functionality of the light, but some of you guys might appreciate that. And it does have these scallops here. Again, I don't think it really assists in functionality, but it does show a differentiator between the other Fahren lights. It does have a really good guard over the fan. I do like to see that once in a while on things, especially when you're installing it in an area that's difficult to install, to compress the gasket right here. Sometimes you want to put your thumb on that and push, and you could break the fan if it doesn't have this guard on it. Overall, the material and quality feels pretty darn good. Feels very, very solid. It does have 2 copper heat pipes you'll see right here, and that's going to help out a lot with heat. But overall, materials, design, everything pretty standard for Fahren. They're pretty consistent when it comes across. But the big question is, well, how does it test? Now, if you're new to this channel, I made a short 1-minute video that explains it all, and I want you to see the link below, which is also in the description. And also check the description of this video for notes on aiming headlights, how to know you pick the right headlight for your application, and the legality of replacing halogen headlight bulbs with LEDs like this one. Now, as I mentioned, this review and test of the Fahren Termitor has been suggested by a lot of you, which I always appreciate the suggestions. So if you found this video helpful, valuable to enjoy in your car more, then please click on the thumbs up, click on the thanks icon to directly support this channel, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell if you haven't already. And don't forget my Patreon page, where you can throw me as little as $1 a month to support my efforts and possibly get some cool Carlight Reviews goods in return. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I also want to thank my newest supporter of this channel through Patreon, Howard. Thank you so much for your support of Carlight Reviews. You are now among my other Patreon supporters like Red, Sup John, Kyle, and Dan. I really appreciate it, guys. Now, Let's see how the Fahren Termitor did in my projector and reflector tests. As I test more and more lights, they just keep getting brighter and brighter. This one weighs in at 2,250 lux, 1,525 over the halogen 725 baseline lux measurement. And here we go once again. We have a new leader for initial projector light output, just 20 lux higher than my previous leader, the X77 Apollo. Now, this is not enough to notice in real-world usage, but still, that's the number according to my test. But that brightness doesn't last quite as well as others. After 27 minutes, the average commute time in the United States, it retains a below current average of 74% of that light output, making it 1,665 or 940 over the halogen baseline. But still, this is the third brightest light I have tested in a projector after 27 minutes, behind the LastFit LS Plus and the current brightness over time projector leader, the Hikari 2023 Future Titan Nova. Now let's take a look compared to halogen. You can see that it seems to be uneven on the right side compared to the left. Now that might very well be a misalignment of my projector housing, so I really wouldn't consider it as a negative. The cutoff does seem to be a bit on the blurry side, but the hotspot is very close to the cutoff, which is a very good thing. And the common weak spot right here seems a bit more pronounced than most, but with the hotspot being so high, that's not as big of a concern in my book. Now let's have a look at the reflector output. Wow, this is kind of crazy. 5,200 lux in my test environment, 4,290 over the halogen baseline of 910 lux, and the first reflector housing light I've tested to go over 5,000 lux initial. This is now the most powerful LED that I've tested in a reflector for initial light output, and by quite a bit. 350 lux over the previous leader of initial reflector brightness, the X77 Apollo. After 27 minutes of runtime, keeping that 74% light output, it is reduced to 3,848 lux, or 2,938 lux over halogen. So even though the projector is the third brightest over time, this Fahren Termitor is indeed the leader in reflector brightness over time, also taking that title away from the X77 Apollo by 351 lux. And looking at the reflector light pattern compared to halogen, I honestly can't believe what I'm seeing. For as bright as this light is, again, the brightest I've tested in a reflector, somehow it is controlled very well in my test reflector housing. I mean, I see very little areas of concern here. The cutoff is rather flat, it's not terrifically fuzzy, there's no real scattering that I can see. The hotspot is a bit lower than the cutoff compared to the projector output, but that is a small price to pay, in my book, for how bright this is while maintaining control. Now keep in mind, this doesn't give you a pass to not be very cautious when aiming. Make sure you can aim these lights accurately or you'll put yourself and other drivers in danger. And I will say, I am thoroughly impressed with the reflector output and control of this light. And I will be doing an end of the year awards video, and I think this Fahren Termitor is a contender for not only the brightest reflector output for both initial and overtime, but also for reflector accuracy considering that brightness. I'll be doing that video very soon, so be sure to subscribe to find out what lights win my end of the year awards. As mentioned, there is a published rating of 60 watts per light, and I observed 54, and even 6 watts less than published. And for heat management, after 27 minutes of runtime, the average commute time in the United States, my FLIR thermal camera recorded a rather hot 211 degrees Fahrenheit, or 99 degrees Celsius for the main unit, and 121 degrees Fahrenheit, or 49 degrees Celsius for the driver. Now, it's not the coolest light I've tested, but it's also not the hottest. And if you want to compare all specifications on all the lights I've tested, of course, I put a link in the description to that free spreadsheet that I update with every video release. So yes, so far, this is the most powerful Fahren light of the three that I've tested. And overall, I think Fahren makes a good quality light for the money. And out of the three, which one should you get? Well, the Forscher is very hard to beat. I mean, for under $40, you can get a very good LED upgrade for the money. It's not the brightest of the three, but honestly, it is bright enough to get the job done and has a great heat management system. Now, the Krieges is more expensive at $65, but it is brighter with a trade-off of lower percentage of brightness retained over time, as well as increased heat. It did pretty well in the projector, but not quite as good in the reflector housing. Now you can see my full review of both here on this channel, and I will link to them in the description. So where does the Termitor fit by comparison? Well, I still think the Forscher is the best budget LED upgrade that I've tested so far. And if you want brighter and don't mind the heat and lower percentage of retained light over time, and you're using it in a projector, and you don't mind paying more, then get the Krieges. But if you really want bright and plan to use it in a reflector, at $4 more than the Krieges, at least at the time of this video, then yes, get the Termitor. These are my suggestions based on my test observations. Links to where you can buy the Fahren Termitor, as well as all the other Fahren lights, are in the description, and buying through those links supports this channel at no additional cost to you. And if I have any coupon codes to save you money, I'll include them there as well. So once again, click on the thumbs up, the thanks icon, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already. And get ready because, as I mentioned, my end of the year awards video is just around the corner and you're not going to want to miss it. We'll see how well the Fahren lights stack up to all the other lights I've tested this year. And if you have a suggestion on what I should test in the future, please leave a comment and I'll definitely check into it. So as always, thanks for watching. I hope this video helps you to find the right lighting upgrades for your needs so you can enjoy your car more and save you money. Keep your headlights aimed, drive safely, responsibly, and respectfully.